For this assignment, I've chosen to go with appendix number 6 from the reading, um, and it's the must-win mentality. And I think this is really relative in today's athletes and parents, especially youth sports. And I'll kind of tie into a little bit of the travel teams and a little bit later that kind of instill this must-win mentality that a lot of people I think are struggling with. But anyway, right now, the facts in this case or in this situation, there was a concerned parent who was expressing their feelings and what they thought about the football coach and how they thought that that the football coach should be let go for lack of success, I would say, and lack of motivation, lack of inspiration, lack of pretty much everything across the board that a coach should or should not do. That can be left up to anybody to determine, but this parent is saying that they should be let go because they're not winning, they're not getting the athletes athletic scholarships to colleges to move on to the next level. And I think getting a new coach in this situation isn't really needed unless there's been years and years and years of non-success. I think parents kind of have this facade in their head, or this image in their head that high school sports should be just like college. In a roundabout way, they kind of should. It should be more towards the development of the athlete moving on to college, because it is a bigger, faster, stronger game in college, no matter what sport you're playing. But this parent is just saying that the object of the game is to win. It's to win. That's the end-all, be-all result. If they don't win, boom, everyone should be let go. And I think they get this from the college level and the professional level, where they see coaches constantly let go for lack of performance, or lack of winning, not necessarily performance, because a team doesn't win doesn't mean that they have a bad coach. It boils down to a lot of things, but it's just the coach that takes the all the heat for it. And I think in this situation, the athletic director handled it very well. They used what they called the probe, the mature probe, to get more information out of this parent. And then they got back with mature responses, which was, this is my job, this is all I do, this is what I do, and this is all I can do about this situation, which, in my opinion, is kind of what I would do. I would, say, hey, okay, so what's going on? Let me know more about this. And another way I've kind of been thinking about is to go about it is maybe ask other parents, maybe have a team meeting with parents. Not necessarily that the coach has to know, or that I'm not going behind the coach's back. I would probably say, hey, coach, I'm going to have a meeting with some parents. There's some concern about some of the stuff, and just kind of let them know, just out of respect. I think that would be the way I would approach it, because then you would be able to pull more information from it all, instead of just one person saying this coach needs to go, coach needs to get fired. So I think that's how I would handle it. I would do the same with each person. I would, ask for information. I would give the mature responses. I would do my best to fill them in on anything that I can do for them, or anything like that. And then, an article that I used or that I read for this was from Psychology Today, and it's called "Dealing with or Maintaining a Winning Focus is Not the Way to Win." So it kind of ties into dealing with this must-win mentality. But it talks about reinforcing performance, not the outcome. And in short, it really talks about our language and behavior as a coach, and how we ourselves comprehend or define success, um, because in the end, that'll help the athletes give their own definition of success. And then it'll help them look back on their performance and say, okay, this is what I could have done. This is what we could have done as a team in order to win. And not necessarily saying that, you know, a team that doesn't do that loses or that they win. But if they win, they can say, okay, what can we do better next time to make sure that these mistakes don't happen? Or if we lost, what can we do to make sure that we can win, that these mistakes don't happen? So it's kind of the, I feel like it's the same thing, same, type of scenario right there with those two. But I think one big thing, that I kind of touched on at the beginning was the travel teams and everything, and how I think I've seen it a lot with baseball in the past 4 to 5 years. These travel ball teams are just win, 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 win. They are in tournaments. They always have the best kids on the team. They always have the best athletes, whatever it may be. And they're always winning these tournaments. And it's like, okay, great. You won a tournament at a, facility this weekend. Cool. What did the athletes get out of it? Did they get better? Did they get better as a person? Did they get better as a baseball player? Or was it just winning? And what happens if you didn't win? The parents asked you to get, relieved of your duties as the head coach. And I also, and I think it has to do with this generation of athletes, honestly. Because when I was coaching at the junior college at College San Mateo, there was a high school right down the street, Sarah High School, who has been nationally ranked before in high school baseball. They've been ranked in the top 10 for the past 4 or 5 years in the state of California. But a coach who had been there for, I think he was there for about 20, 25 years. And, he was a staple in the program. Everything he did was year after year after year. It worked. It worked. They won games. He had 1 year, a couple years ago, where they kind of just slipped a little bit. Started to lost some games that they probably shouldn't have. And instantly parents pushed him out. And in talking with him, he had said, it's what it was. The parents pushed him out. He lost some games he shouldn't have lost, and the parents wanted him out. Which I think is completely asinine, if you ask me, because the parents should not control whether a coach loses his job or not. That should be up to the school, up to the district, up to any official or administration within the school or district. But in today's world, parents have power, way more power than they did, and it is sad to see. As a coach, it is honestly that's a hard pill to swallow, because a lot of coaches like myself are all about developing the athlete, not only as an athlete, but as a person. And I think that's something that we can all learn from. I don't know, I'm not saying that it happens everywhere. It might, I don't know. But I think it's something that is very prominent in today's youth sports. So that's my presentation for you guys.